The scene from just the last hour at the Abu Dhabi airport. A high-ranking delegation from the United States, that's Jared Kushner on the left, top Israeli officials as well, getting off the El Al plane, which flew from Israel into the United Arab Emirates, the very first direct commercial passenger jet from Israel to the U.A.E. It's all part of what the Trump administration hopes is a major foreign policy win. And let's talk about all of this. Iris Mackler is following the story. She's in Jerusalem now. The greeting party from UAE's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs there, greeting the Israeli and American delegations. Iris, what is the significance of their arrival in Abu Dhabi?
You know, just the fact that they got on that plane is so significant. The fact that that was a first. The fact that they flew over Saudi Arabia, the first time that an Israeli plane has flown over Saudi airspace. And by the way, that cut the flight time in half. I'm sure the passengers were grateful. But it's also emblematic of bringing Israel closer to its neighbours in every sense. Let's just look at the story of the pilot. Tal Becker was sitting at home because of COVID-19. He's been flying for more than 4 decades. He's at the end of his career when he gets this call out of the blue. He says it's the most exciting flight of his life. He never imagined that he would be flying across Saudi Arabia and landing in Abu Dhabi. So those are the people celebrating, Jerusalem and Washington and Abu Dhabi. The people who aren't celebrating are the Palestinians. They are bitter today. We've heard from their Prime Minister about how unhappy he is. And what we heard from Jared Kushner was a swipe at the Palestinians when he landed. He said he branded them as people not involved and not involved on purpose. Let's hear what he had to say.
While this peace was forged by its leaders, it is overwhelmingly desired by the people. The very few who have been critical of this peace agreement are the ones with a long track record of failure and trapping their own people in misery and poverty. They exploit division to maintain power, but their rhetoric has grown tired and the region is breaking free from their grip.
Jared Kushner, as he spoke after he landed at the end of that flight, 3 hours and 20 minutes, and now in the UAE. Iris, we have Egypt and we have Jordan, which have full relations, normalized relations with Israel. Washington would like a broader Middle East peace initiative. What else is it looking at?
It's looking at other Gulf countries. It's looking at Bahrain. It's looking at Oman. It's looking, of course, at Saudi Arabia, the regional leader. It's looking further afield to Morocco and to Sudan. We saw visits from US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to some of those countries, and we haven't seen anything forthcoming. But I think that if all we see in October, which is breakneck speed in diplomatic terms, if we do see in October in Washington a signing of this agreement with the United Arab Emirates, just a month before the American elections, that will be a foreign policy win. That will be quite enough of a foreign policy win for this administration. Even though they may have larger ambitions, they may not realise them before October, but that'll do them fine.
Iris Mackler, thank you very much for the coverage this morning. Iris is in Jerusalem.